It's IRS Newsroom Friday. The IRS announces the 2021 PTIN fees for tax preparers, unveils the Dirty Dozen list of tax scams for 2020, and debunks tax refund myths. You're going to want to stay tuned. Howdy, fellow tax nerds. Welcome to Deep in the Heart of Taxes, the only show that takes the time to boil down all of the tax law news that's fit to share, and some of it that isn't, all so that you don't have to. As always, you'll find links to the full stories in the description below. I'm Jack Manhire.
I'm Carrie Fawkes. And I'm Dr. Tyler Kyle.
And here are your headlines. Okay, so there must be some tax refund myths flying around with the
affliction, Jack?
Yes, the affliction that we're currently suffering through, and the tax deadline that was pushed back to July 15th. Because the IRS yesterday, on Thursday, issued a news briefing that it debunks the tax refund myths. And it wants to remind taxpayers that there's no secret way to find out when a refund will be issued. Of course, most taxpayers have filed their tax returns already, and a lot of them have seen their refunds, even if they've been delayed. And we've talked previously in other shows about the interest on that, etc. But the IRS wants to remind taxpayers of some key facts so that they can understand the refund process better. And this comes from the IRS Newsroom. Taxpayers who file electronically and use direct deposit can expect their refund faster than those who mail a paper return, especially since the affliction outbreak has reduced IRS staffing available to process the paper return. Taxpayers who file a paper return are likely to face processing and refund delays. We've talked about that in previous shows as well. The IRS says that the best and easiest way to check on a refund is "Where's my refund?" And a tax refund status can be checked within 24 hours after you receive your e-file acceptance notification. Now, the IRS does continue to process electronic and paper returns. They continue to issue refunds. They continue to accept payments, of course. They are experiencing delays in processing the paper returns because of the limited staffing. But they want to call to the attention of taxpayers what they're calling the common myths about the tax refunds. Myth number one, getting a refund this year means there's no need to adjust withholding for 2020. And so this is the IRS's busting of that myth. To help avoid a possible surprise next year, taxpayers should look to make changes now. Adjusting tax withholding with an employer can help ensure that neither too much nor too little tax is withheld from an employee's paycheck. And they point you to the withholding estimator if you need some way of checking that. Myth number two, calling the IRS or a tax professional will provide a better refund date. Here's the myth busted. Contacting the IRS or a tax professional will not expedite a refund. IRS assisters and tax professionals cannot move up a refund date, nor do they have access to any, quote, special information that will provide a more accurate refund date. Myth number three, ordering a tax transcript is a secret way to get a refund date. Again, busted. Ordering a tax transcript will not help you find out when you will get your refund, and it does not accelerate the issue date of a refund. I can attest to these, both practicing in the private sector in civil tax defense for nearly a decade, and then being working for the IRS in various capacities. There seems to be a general idea in the American mind, in the American zeitgeist, that the IRS kind of has perhaps a hive mind. And, they always talk about the IRS as a person. The IRS does this, or the IRS thinks this, or the IRS wants this. The IRS is not a hive mind. It is not the Borg for Star Trek fans out there. They do have processes, procedures. A lot of them are automated, especially at the front lines in dealing with taxpayers. What I would call more vanilla variety of tax return. And I'm certainly one of those as well. Not large cases, and because they are electronically processed and automated, there is very little chance of getting exceptions to these rules, getting exceptions to these processes. So take out of your mind, if you will, the idea that the IRS is somehow this person, this singular person, where you call and you talk to one of the person's representatives, so to speak, and that you can just change that quote unquote person's mind, the person being the IRS. That's just not it. And there's no secret way. There's no kind of tinfoil hat conspiracy about how to get these earlier. It is true that if you electronically file, you get your refund faster usually. It's a statistic reality. Paper returns take longer to process because human hands have to touch them. Okay. Besides that, use the Where's My Refund app as I do when I file my tax returns to see where my refund is. I think it was in the late 90s and early 2000s when I first started practicing tax law that I noticed that the IRS created a list of what they called the Dirty Dozen scams. And a lot of it came out of the some of the information floating around at the time about the constitutionality of income tax and those types of arguments. But since then, the IRS has annually published their Dirty Dozen scams, and they usually publish them around tax day. Since tax day has been pushed back, the Dirty Dozen scams the publishing of the Dirty Dozen scams have also been pushed back. Now there's 12 of them. I'm going to read off the 12 so that you know them. I'm not going to read or tell you about all 12. It'll take too long, but I am going to go a little bit deeper into 2 or 3 that are more related to our current time, meaning the affliction that we're going through.
Jack, why do you keep saying affliction? I don't understand. Well, madam, he said that a couple shows back.
Yeah, Carrie, I said a little while ago about the affliction.
Oh, that's right. Can you just remind me again?
Yes. Well, I on this show, I say affliction because our platform host, the platform on which most people are listening to this or watching and listening to this, kind of penalizes you if you say certain words, especially about things that we're going through medically as a world right now. Let me put it that way. So I do have to speak in code a little bit so we don't get penalized, and that way we can make sure that we reach the most amount of people possible.
That's right. Thank you very much, Jack.
You're very welcome. Always happy to help. So here again, Dirty Dozen scams. Number 1, and I don't think these are in any particular order, by the way. Number 1 is phishing. Number 2 is fake charities. Number 3 is threatening impersonator phone calls. Social media scams is number 4. Number 5 is EIP or refund theft. Number 6, senior fraud. Number 7, scams targeting non-English speakers. Number 8, unscrupulous return preparers. Number 9, offer and compromise mills. Number 10, fake payments with repayment demands. Number 11, I guess, payroll and HR scams. And number 12, ransomware. Now that's a lot of them, a lot, for the ear to take in all in one gulp, so to speak, to mix my metaphors. But if any of those really caught your interest, go to the IRS Newsroom. I have the link in the description, and you can read more about each one. But I do want to cover a few in this show. The phishing one, you might know about this already, but it's good to cover it because of the money that has gone out and the various ways the IRS has been involved and the Department of Treasury has been involved in sending taxpayers money during this time of affliction, as I said before. And so for phishing, the IRS the IRS writes, quote, taxpayers should be alert to potential fake emails or websites looking to steal personal information. The IRS will never initiate contact with taxpayers via email about a tax bill, refund, or economic impact payments. Don't click on links claiming to be from the IRS. Again, don't click on links claiming to be from the IRS. Be very wary of emails and websites. They may be nothing more than scams to steal personal information. Now, the IRS Criminal Investigation Department has seen a tremendous increase in these phishing schemes that utilize emails, letters, texts, links, and these schemes are using keywords such as the keywords associated with the virus and disease, of the affliction that we have. Also words like stimulus, because it's been in the news a lot about economic stimulus. They are really more economic impact payments, the EIPs. But be very, very careful. Now, it can be tricky because if you do electronically file your tax return, you have an option of being updated via text, usually through your online tax preparer service, about whether the IRS has processed the refund or accepted the return, processed the return, and issued the refund. And so those are legitimate texts. Anything outside of that, I would be very, 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 very suspicious of. Very suspicious of. And in fact, if you know that if you've ever gotten the text that I'm talking about, the legitimate texts, they're not asking you to click on anything. They're not asking you to do anything other than maybe if the return wasn't accepted, you're gonna have to reprocess it. But then that should match up with your online software as well. So do not click on any links. That's the best advice that I can give. Related to the current affliction, excuse me, there have been many fake charities. A lot of fake charities are set up when disaster strikes. We saw this in 9/11. We saw this during the tsunami. We're seeing this now with COVID-19. And these fake charities are set up to steal from very well-intentioned people who are just trying to help. People who just want to do something to help those people in need. And fake charities make it easy for folks who want to do just something to simply write a check or, not really write a check, to give over some credit card information is what it would be. And they usually start with unsolicited contact by phone, by text, social media, email, sometimes in person, but usually it's some type of more anonymous way. Okay, and they have bogus websites. Remember that legitimate charities will always have an employer identification number or an EIN, and you should be able to request that from anybody who's communicating with you. And then you can go on to the IRS's search tool on irs.gov and then verify that EIN matches the charity that you're talking to, or at least the charity that the person is representing that they work for. Okay, so again, you ask for the EIN, ask for the employer identification number, and then go onto the irs.gov search tool, and you'll be able to search legitimate and qualified charities. It's a big list, but you'll be able to match up that EIN, and then you hopefully will not get scammed. Now, another one that I want to cover is this EIP, this economic impact payment theft or refund theft. And the CARES Act has made it, unfortunately, easier for criminals this year to try to steal a new source of payments. Criminals, for a very long time, when I was with the IRS, this was front and center, was identity theft. And criminals have gotten very, very good at stealing your identity and taking your tax refund before you have a chance to file. The CARES Act has given them another opportunity to do that. The IRS writes, much of this stems from identity theft whereby criminals file false tax returns or supply other bogus information to the IRS to divert refunds to wrong addresses or to other bank accounts. Okay. The IRS recently warned nursing homes and other care facilities that EIP, economic impact payments, generally belong to the recipients, not to the organizations providing the care. This came following concerns that people and businesses may be taking advantage of vulnerable populations who receive the payments. These payments do not count as a resource for determining eligibility or Medicaid or any other federal program. You have to understand that. It does not count as a resource, as an income resource, for determining eligibility for Medicare or any other federal program. They also do not count as income in determining eligibility for any other federal program in which the income, you might have some income tests. Okay, I heard some news stories where landlords were even checking to see if people who are behind on their rent receive their economic payment, impact payment, by putting in the taxpayer's Social Security number into the IRS system. Now, of course, they had the Social Security number because of the rental application. That's not right. That's not right. I would go so far as to say that's not legal. Okay, because you're using a federal resource of the U.S. government resource, which is the website, to represent that you're somebody who you are not. Okay, so be careful of these types of things, either direct refund theft or even people trying to say that this money counts in some way in which it doesn't. This also relates to senior fraud, which is another element. But the last one I want to cover is payroll and HR scams. Now, tax professionals, employers, and taxpayers need to be on guard against the phishing that we talked about before. But certain phishing is also designed to steal your W-2 information, okay, or other tax information for that matter. These are business email compromise or business email spoofing. These are the names that the IRS uses for them. It's particularly true with many businesses that are closed and their employees working from home during the affliction. The IRS writes, currently, two of the most common types of these scams are the gift card scam and the direct deposit scam. So let's cover the gift card scam first. In a gift card scam, a compromised email account is often used to send a request to purchase gift cards in various denominations. Now, in the direct deposit scheme, the fraudster may have access to the victim's email account. It's also known as an email account compromise, EAC. I don't want to confuse people with all the government acronyms. But essentially, in the direct deposit scheme, they have access to your email account, and they may also impersonate you to victimize you, and have the organization change your direct deposit information. In other words, they're going to call or contact your place of employment, and if they have your email and some other information that they try to use to verify them as you falsely, they're going to have your stuff rerouted and deposited into their accounts. Ugh. I don't know about you, but my paycheck is direct deposited, and like many people, I count on that every payday. So this is a bad one. So these types of scams are usually used in a variety of ploys to include requests for wire transfers, payment of fake invoices, and other things like that. And in past years, the IRS has observed variations on these scams where fake IRS documents are used to lend some legitimacy to some type of bogus request for your information. For example, a fraudster may attempt to fake an invoice and use what appears to be a legitimate IRS document to help convince the victim that they need to complete this. Okay. If you do come across these direct deposit scams, you want to contact the FBI's Internet Criminal Complaint Center. Okay. FBI's Internet Crime Complaint Center, Internet Crime Complaint Center. And again, if you go through to the link to the main article on the Dirty Dozen, you'll find a link to the FBI's Internet Crime Complaint Center. So stay safe out there. Unfortunately, when things happen that affect us all negatively, and when the government tries to help, usually with money and then uses the IRS in some way to try to facilitate that, criminals are standing by waiting to exploit it and waiting to exploit you. So again, stay safe. So that's our show for today. Again, IRS Newsroom Friday. This might be a regular thing for Fridays where I try to round up not all of the newsroom items on the IRS website because there's too many, but some of the ones that I think are going to be more relevant and stuff you might be interested in. So please let me know in the comments below if you like this. I'm playing with the format, trying to do some things that I hope that you will like as the listener. But I don't know if you like it or not if you don't tell me, okay? So please interact with me in the comments. Tell me, Jack, I like the format. I like IRS Newsroom Friday. Jack, I hate IRS Newsroom Friday. That's boring. Get on to the other news, etc. And also tell me if you like the format of me having Carrie and Dr. Kyle be here in the studio as well.
I certainly hope they like it. Oh, goodness.
Well, we have to listen to what our folks want and what they say. So, let me know if you have any suggestions on doing the format in a different way. I am listening. Please know that I am listening. And so let me know what you think by leaving comments, leaving your thoughts in the comments below. Okay, so again, that's our show for today. If you liked it, please hit the like button, the thumbs up button, and share it to your other platforms, especially Facebook. That's the one that gives us the widest possible audience. Also, make sure to hit the subscribe button and hit the bell icon to be notified of future shows so that you can take part in our live chats. And thanks for listening and to Deep in the Heart of Taxes. I hope everybody has a really good weekend. I probably won't drop another show until Monday, but there might be one that I drop over the weekend. We'll see. Thanks again for listening to Deep in the Heart of Taxes. I'm Jack Manhire.
I'm Carrie Fawkes.
I'm Dr. Tyler Kyle. We're all wishing you many happy returns.